NBC 15 News at 11 starts now.
Now at 11, deadly and destructive flooding in the Carolinas leads to hundreds of rescues as residents scramble to find shelter. Plus, opponents of Wisconsin's voter identification law plan to argue in federal court today. And faculty and staff head back to school after a deadly mass shooting at an Oregon State community college. Good morning, I'm Ashley Matthews. Our top story at 11, the catastrophic flooding in South Carolina is being called a 1,000-year rain event. At least 7 people have been killed and tens of thousands are without power and clean water. Crews are working around the clock, trying to keep people safe and clear the roadways. Officials are asking people to stay in their homes if they can. NBC's Jay Gray is in Columbia, South Carolina with this update.
Hey there, and finally we are getting a break from some of the rain here, but not from the problems created by the floodwaters. Take a look behind me. You can see what they've done here, tearing away the roadway, snapping a power pole and dropping the lines into the rapids here. Scenes like this playing out across the Carolinas, and as South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley says, testing the strength of those who live here.
South Carolina, we're strong people, and right now I feel for those. They've lost their homes, they've lost a lot of their belongings, but at the end of the day, they recognize their blessings. And so right now we're a state in a lot of prayer, and we're a state that's really trying to take care of each other, but we're a strong state. We'll get through this.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be a tough go, even when the rain is finally over, and that's expected, forecasters say, later today. Still, the creeks and rivers are going to continue to climb. Flooding is going to be an issue, and adding to the misery here, all of this flood water, but no usable water for tens of thousands of families. The public water system here has been compromised. Some of the lines snapped. They don't expect to have water for tens of thousands until sometime later this week. That's the latest here in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm Jay Gray, NBC News.
Meantime, the local Red Cross Northwest Wisconsin chapter is planning to send volunteers to help assist with those efforts. Thankfully, much calmer conditions here across southern Wisconsin for the start of our work week. Chief Meteorologist Charlie Shortino joins us now with more on today's forecast. Hi, Charlie.
Hello. The rare from Charlie, one-word forecast. Just cloudy today. That's it. Cloudy skies are expected. Temperatures are going to be topping off this afternoon right around 61 degrees, so a rather cool day as well. Northerly winds at 5 miles per hour. Sunshine will make a return appearance tomorrow. Looks like it'll hang on into Wednesday as well. I'll have that forecast for you coming up.
Charlie, thank you. In our continuing coverage, one man is dead following a stabbing in Baraboo. Police were called to Walnut and Lynn Street early yesterday to find a man who was wounded and another man stabbed to death. They believe it was a continuation of a fight that happened within a bar that spilled out onto the streets.
I can tell you that this is absolutely abnormal for our community. This type of thing doesn't necessarily happen here. Obviously, we do everything we can to prevent this type of thing, but typically, as the investigation will eventually reveal, we'll find out just why this happened.
Police have arrested 4 people in connection with the stabbing. Jay Robinson, Matthew Harvey, Amanda Rotar, and Christopher Nash, all from Baraboo, have been tentatively charged with party to the crime of homicide. Police say the deceased victim, 36-year-old Anthony Inman, is from North Freedom. The other victim, 32-year-old Anthony Peterson of Boston, has been taken to UW Hospital, where he is being treated for his injuries. Happening today, the Richland Center woman accused of poisoning another woman faced a judge for an initial hearing. 25-year-old Nina Fields is facing attempted homicide charges for allegedly poisoning a 68-year-old woman with antifreeze. The 68-year-old is recovering at Meriter Hospital. Police have not yet talked about the relationship between the two. Her preliminary hearing is scheduled for October 16th. We have good news on a story we brought you yesterday. A girl reported missing in Beloit has been found. Police say 13-year-old Lazaria Williams was found yesterday and is back home safe. Williams was first reported missing Saturday night. The Capitol Rotunda will be closed for the next month starting today. The ground and first floors will be closed off so repairs to the interior dome can be made. The 2 floors are expected to reopen November 10th. More repairs will continue for the dome until the middle of January. Opponents of Wisconsin's voter identification law plan to argue in federal court that the number of IDs allowed at polling places should be expanded. The case to be argued today represents the latest push from the American Civil Liberties Union against a law passed by the Republican-controlled legislature and signed by Governor Scott Walker. The state Justice Department is defending the legislation, saying the case amounts to a request for judges to overstep their authority and rewrite the law. Making news around the nation, the U.S. Coast Guard now believes a cargo ship carrying 28 Americans that vanished during Hurricane Joaquin did, in fact, sink. The Coast Guard says it found the body of one crew member from a U.S.-based cargo ship that sank during that hurricane off the Bahamas. An airborne crew spotted several survival suits floating amid debris from that ship. Most were empty, but one did have a body. A U.S. Navy plane continued searching the Atlantic Ocean for the missing crew. The ship's owners say it carried more than enough lifeboats and rafts for the crew. Crews did find one of two lifeboats from that ship, but it didn't have people or signs of life. Officials say ship had two lifeboats and each can hold 43 people. Hillary Clinton is taking on the NRA today with controversial new proposals aimed at strengthening background checks on gun buyers and eliminating legal immunity for sellers. The proposals come in the wake of last week's deadly shootings on an Oregon college campus. Clinton's campaign said she plans to propose a repeal of legislation that shields gun manufacturers, distributors, and dealers from most liability suits, even in the case of mass shootings like the one last week. Meantime, that community college in Oregon State is set to reopen today to staff after 10 people were killed on campus on Thursday, including that gunman. Students will be allowed back on campus as well, but only to talk to grief counselors. Friday's shooting is the deadliest shooting in Oregon's history. NBC's Miguel Almaguer has more insight into the moments before, during, and after the gunfire.
Exchanging shots with him. He's in the classroom.
He took 9 lives in 10 minutes, then his own. Christopher Harper Mercer murdered classmates and staff one by one.
She said, "Daddy, all of a sudden, I heard a horrible bang." Amen.
Pastor Randy Scroggins speaks for his daughter Lacey, too traumatized to break her silence. She says when student Trevin Taylor Onspach lost his life, he saved hers.
I felt Trevin's body as it moved partially on mine. I'm frozen to the ground. I can't move.
Covered in blood, unable to move, Lacey's life was spared. Others weren't so lucky.
She then heard another lady say to the shooter, "I'm so sorry for what you've gone through. I'm so sorry that you've been hurt." And with that, he shot her.
The shooter's father wonders how his son could ever amass 14 weapons.
They talk about gun control. Every time something like this happens, they talk about it and nothing is done.
A campus full of heartbreak, hoping to heal. For today, Miguel Almaguer, NBC News, Roseburg.
A special thank you to everyone who participated in the Gilda's Club 5K Run Walk yesterday. The event was really great and raised tens of thousands of dollars for Gilda's Club in Middleton. The 5K Run Walk took place along Pheasant Branch Conservancy, and everyone enjoyed Ruth's Chris Burgers along with Culver's custard after the big race. Gilda's Club is a resource for all people impacted by cancer. It offers support groups, social activities, and so much more. Now, for more information on Gilda's Club, please go to NBC15.com and click on news links.